Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everybody. I'm Preacher Moss, host of the SOS, the Shout Out Show. Hope that you're having a wonderful Wednesday. I want to give a shout out to Midtown Mosque in Memphis, Tennessee. I want to thank all the brothers and sisters who gave me such generosity and hospitality as we try to raise money for a future endeavor they already bought a church to take that church and turn it into a masjid. Y'all know it takes money to turn a church into a masjid. You got to wash out all the Holy Ghost that's up in the spot. But more importantly, you have to, for lack of a better word, be on top of your business. Now, listen, we start off the top of the show with some sad news from the entertainment world. Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away, better known as Theo Huxtable from The Cosby Show, but really known for, a very powerful spoken word artist, jazz funk artist. I listened to some of his stuff today. I re-listened to some of his stuff today. The Miles mixtape deal that he had. He was a bassist. He said he was an upright bassist. I would love to have seen that, but in any event, a loss. I don't know what's going on with Costa Rica, but we've lost some major stars down in Costa Rica. I think we lost Left Eye in Costa Rica. Aaliyah too. Was Aaliyah in Costa Rica? And we just lost Malcolm Jamal Warner. And it really looks like he was trying to save his daughter when he lost his life, which doesn't surprise me. Very talented young man, very introspective young man. I enjoy listening to him talk about the art of acting, but also the art of social engagement, through his spoken word artistry. You really got to understand the levels of this guy, and I appreciate him. And also from the rock side of the game, Ozzy Osbourne passed away at the age of 75. Ozzy Osbourne from Black Sabbath. Now, I know some of y'all are not rock fans. I'm a music fan, and if you ever get a chance to listen to anything from Ozzy Osbourne, check out Crazy Train and Paranoia. And this is why I'm telling you to check out Crazy Train and Paranoia. Those songs apply to today. And I'm not saying I know what drugs that Ozzy Osbourne was on back in the day, but, those songs speak to pain. If you change a couple of chords on that, he's singing the blues. He's really, really singing the blues. We call it rock and roll, but rock and roll came from the blues. And just so you know, rock and roll is the baby of the blues. So if you get a chance, check that out. Wow, there's so much work on Malcolm Jamal Warner that's out there. Take your pick. You can watch The Cosby Show. You can watch Malcolm and Eddie. I mean, he had a lot of stuff going on outside of being a thespian. He was a very well-rounded guy, a bit of a Renaissance man. And like I said, also check out Ozzy Osbourne. Peace and blessings to those families. People, let me get to the crux of it today. We are addressing not Zionism, not just Zionism. We are addressing American Zionism. I don't think that we're really talking about what's happening in the scope of how anti-Semitism is being used to suppress not the rights of people who are anti-Semites, but the rights of everybody. And this new tool, if you will, white supremacy, is something that if we let fester, and we're letting it fester now because everybody's scared. The optics are if you speak up, you'll get shut up. If you act out, you'll get shut down. Here's the thing. We are at a crucial point. And the crucial point is we recognize what it is. Now we have to act. Now we have to put flags in the ground, American flags, African-American flags, Palestinian flags, righteous Muslim flag, whatever. But you have to take a stand because this becomes the thing that if you don't stand up, they will lay you down. Okay? So all the stuff that you're seeing now, the Epstein stuff, I'm going to break part of that down because I'm going to give you a little bit of a mosaic, which I feel like there's so much information coming at us that we're not looking at the main thing. And in the words of Mos Def Yassine Bey, the main thing is still the main thing. Okay, so we're going to be right back on the Shout Out Show. Thank you for joining us on Preacher Moss. Let's get it started. Okay, we're back. We're gonna make sure we get into the shout out section. Let's get into our comment section, our shout out show family. Can we get them up real quickly? My main man, Altar Rashid, wa alaikum assalam, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brother. We call him Mr. 6 o'clock, Mr. Straight Up, Straight Down, our Canadian envoy into the show. No terrorists involved. Thank you so much for being on the show, brother. Keep holding it down up there in Canada. We'll keep trying to hold it down here in the low 48. Okay. Also, we got my man, Issa Galloway. Wa alaikum assalam, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brother. Thank you so much for joining the show. Everybody, feel free to comment. This is going to be one of those shows. I purposely didn't over research things because I really want input. You know, sometimes research is good, but emotional intelligence when you talk about things is better. And I'm going to lean on some of you guys for that. Okay, next up, Brother Eric Carter from South Kakalaki. Wa alaikum assalam, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brother. I hope you are doing well, and give my greetings and salutations to everybody down there below the border. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. Next up, Sister Ree, assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Ree, she says, hello, family. What's going on, little sis? We hope that you're doing well. Peace and blessings to you, your husband, your son, Derek, and Juwan, respectively. Thank you so much for joining the show. We know we appreciate you. All right, next up. He said, okay, he said, okay, all right, he said, War Pigs. Okay, I'm going to give you War Pigs. I mean, I like Paranoia, and I like the Crazy Train. Those are my things. But look up Paranoia too. I mean, look up War Pigs too. Thanks so much, brother. Brother Jabril, wa alaikum assalam, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hailing from Charlotte, North Carolina. How you doing, beloved? Please give my salams to your wife. You know what? I don't think you had. Did you have Malcolm Jamal Warner? You have a picture of Malcolm Jamal Warner? I think you did. I don't think I saw you one with Ozzy Osbourne though. So you're falling off, man. You're only 1 for 2. You're 50%. And of course, wa alaikum assalam, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, to our dear sister, Mrs. Satana Whitfield, executive producer of the Shout Out Show, without which this show would really be in trouble. Thank you so much, sister. We appreciate you. Let me jump out here. Instagram land. We got Quixotic and Sober. How you doing? We have Taj Bellwether and Zayda. Thank you so much. Peace Man Forever. How you doing? Wa alaikum assalam, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A Hussein 15. Thank you so much for joining us. People, I wanted to start off this show with the thing behind me. The Palestinian flag emits, it causes a very, very strong reaction for people who are pro-Palestinian. And the interesting thing is people never really say they're anti-Palestinian. Did you notice that? They never say they're anti-Gaza. They say, Hamas, but they never say I am against Palestine. I am fervently, but what they give is the action that lets you know that essentially they don't want Palestine around. I'm not going to get into all the optics and the politics of Palestine. I'm not going to do that. I put the flag up here because I wanted a framework. We know since 1948 that this has been a problem. From the Nakba to the late 60s to up to what we see now is a pattern in the narrative that is not true. It is a pattern and a narrative that people hold on to. Now, it's never been truthful. It's never been academic. It's never been something where you have sustainable information. It's that people create a situation, put you in it, and then that's what the truth is. Hence, that's the way we live in America. My point to this, and I'm going to switch out of here and get back to where I was before. My point is this. We now have an inflection point. The inflection point is this whole idea of Zionism has become a little Americanized. That the people that gave you racism, the people that gave you white supremacy, the people that gave you anti-blackness, the people that gave you anti-immigrant stuff, they've now found a new umbrella of which to house those things, and it's called American Zionism. American Zionism is different because what happens is you realize that your laws your amendments, your constitutions are being bent and prostituted to support this whole idea of Zionism. In the Constitution, in the Declaration of Independence, you never saw, hear me now, you never saw anything about anti-Semitism. You never even heard anything about racism. If you do your history, it was under the auspices of, to be happy, the pursuit of happiness. If I have slaves and it makes me happy, then this is valid. Okay, that's off to the side. This new American Zionism is problematic because people don't know that they're in the middle of the soup. People don't know that you swallow this pill and you don't know that it's killing you and killing the things around you. Let me make my point. That there are laws, frameworks that have been put into place that now, when something is not agreed to, when something is not liked, and I'm not saying something's not legal or valid, when people don't like something, they now move to this thing. And the Zionism is not about Palestine. Let me say it again. The American Zionism is not about Palestine. It is giving the illusion that somehow, some way, your laws, your emotions will change what's going on in Gaza. That's a lie. That's a fallacy. What it does, in fact, is align to American values and pimps and prostitutes and compromises American values. That you now have a situation that historically is there. And let me say this clearly. The Zionists, at least the Zionists that run aspects of Israel and how they treat the rest of the world, have a very peculiar pattern. One of which is familiarity. Two is, I will mirror you in terms of your pain, but I won't suffer your pain. And then the third one is logic. I will question your logic, and if I don't like your logic, I will remove you, put somebody else in there, question their logic, and I will keep doing that process until I get the person I want who will say, yes, this logic makes sense. I saw something that's very, very disturbing on television, and that was of a black politician. I can't remember his name, but it was a black politician, and they were asking him about genocide. The reporter was asking him about genocide in Gaza. Instead of standing 10 toes down, he ran away. I don't know about that. Well, I don't know about it. Israel has a right to exist. Listen to the language that's out there. Israel has a right to exist. Does anyone else have a right to exist? Now, in that space of American Zionism, because there's a nuance, American Zionism has lined itself up with what? American democracy. And the way it works is it continues to take away from democracy. Democracy will never take away from Zionism, but Zionism will take away from democracy. And the space that you see now is even more dangerous, if not as dangerous, as what we see going on in Gaza, because we see that. Here, it's being normalized. It's being normalized. When things happen in Gaza, going back to 2023, we shrieked. We were upset. Now we find ourselves emotionally exhausted because it's every day. A bomb every day. Children killed, damn it, every day. People trying to eat every day. People starving every day. Every day, tanks going in. The scary part is, for me, as someone who went to military school, everything that you see in terms of the incursion of Gaza, the people of Palestine never declared war, but more importantly, the United States and Israel never declared war. They declared military action, but they never declared war. And in not declaring war, that froze the rest of the Middle East. It froze the rest of the Middle East because now when you have military action going on, you can still negotiate. You can still have meetings. Look at Russia and Ukraine. Russia wants to have peace talks while they're bombing Ukraine. It's the same philosophy that we're dealing with right now. And the danger with American Zionism is it's a consuming policy. It takes everything and gives nothing, just like the devil. That will promise you everything and gives you nothing. It takes everything and gives you nothing. This brand of American Zionism happened in the Black community. It happened in the Black community. In the 60s and the 70s, where a lot of our Jewish brothers needed cover, hear me now, needed cover from American racism, they aligned themselves because the Black community, in many regards, was a human shield. So if you're going to come get us, you'll get them first. Now you have a situation whereby if you're going to come get American Zionism, you're going to get the American people first before you get the Zionists. So people say, what are you saying? I was watching Mehdi Hassan. He does, I can't remember the name of the show, but he was talking to all of these conservatives about everything from immigration to Israel. He was talking, and he was just taking them down one by one, because the logic was so bad, to a point where I'm watching it, I want to wave a white flag. You know, they can't figure out if my parents came here and they're immigrants and they became naturalized. If these people come here and they're immigrants, they get naturalized, there's a difference. My folks are American, these people are not. You begin to see what the problem is. That the imbalance of logic now becomes a norm. And we find ourselves over and over and over questioning bad logic. We never get to good logic. We never get to basic logic. We never get to meaningful questions about what's going on. American Zionism is almost like the new white evangelical nationalism, that we can weaponize God because white makes right. We can weaponize anti-Semitism because Zionism is the new democracy. To the point we start missing stuff. Are you guys watching the news? Jeffrey Epstein and all of this is a distraction, but it works, brothers and sisters. For 20 years, this man who was a pedophile made steady contributions to Jewish charities. He was a major philanthropist for 20 years. Nobody said anything. How he made his money? This guy did not graduate college. Graduate high school, never graduated college. He gets a job tutoring a bigwig, and that's how he winds up in these spaces. It's endemic. It's endemic of, I want to say, Zionism in America, this American Zionism, because it finds all these places, these nooks and crannies to get into. And when the moment arrives to act, when America is at its weakest, it becomes strongest. It's no longer, it's worried about American values. You hear what I'm saying? It's no longer worried about American values. In fact, it's no longer American Zionism. It is Zionism, big, full, and robust. Two thoughts. You know, America has never figured out how to get rid of black people. You know, they've tried, but they haven't figured out how to get rid of black people. Oh, okay, sorry, Santana. I don't know why it looks good on TV. My green screen looked bad, people, so I apologize. Is it okay now? It's so? Okay, I can't fix it now. All right. So here's what I'm saying. Yeah, two ideas. And I thought about this when I was in Memphis. Dr. King, shortly before he was assassinated, talked about all of his efforts to integrate African Americans into what he thought was the American dream. He verbally says that he's made a mistake, that he's advocated to integrate his people into a burning house. In America, we still have a burning house, but that burning house has been bought and paid for by American Zionism. And we'll take everybody to that burning house. And everybody will go with the assumption that, well, it's burning, somebody put it out. It's burning, but it's not too bad. It's burning, well, heck, I was cold anyway. That we begin to make excuses for the things that we see. And this is hard. The vanguard of protests in America was African Americans. The vanguard. Now, I'm not saying, protest anybody, but I'm saying the historical and iconic understanding of protest is with Black struggle. Always has been, always will be. Well, that's been muted. That's been muted. Long before, anti-woke and anti-DEI was the fact that history began to churn out people who didn't understand their history. Even more so, they didn't understand their value and placement in historical narrative going back to slavery. Over and over and over again, we began to think that we've been placed here as opposed to the fact that we fought to stay here and continue to fight to maintain our position. The whole idea of agency is the first thing that goes out of the window with American Zionism. Bludgeoning people over the head with anti-Semitism are not Semites. They are Caucasian people who finally found themselves replicating what the Zionists do. Wait for an opportunity. Wait for a chance. Wait for leverage. And it's sad because many of us are still holding on to this idea that America is fair, that the democratic process is alive and well, and we just got to give it a chance, that the Constitution and all the amendments, they apply to me. No, they don't apply to you. And even more so, they're beginning to apply less. They're beginning to mean less, that the rules are being broken and rewritten in front of you. In many cases, just broken. You have an oligarch system that says, hey, as long as I get my money, you can do whatever you want to America. You can do whatever you want to America. You can change it's the Constitution. You can switch up the amendments. You can do whatever you want to because they found the right person for the wrong time. They found the right person to do the wrong thing. How about that? And then even in this space, what's the resistance? They've created a culture that mutes resistance. That the people who normally step up, particularly out of the African American community, are very old. Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, even some of our iconic heroes, Tarnished, Bill Cosby, Tarnished. You start looking around and go, what is this? What is this? So let me throw this out. Will we be a nation in the next year or two that will have to meet in secret enclaves like in the World War II, like the French? Will we have an underground of resistance? Will we be like the movie Vendetta V, where we have to go through these things? And if you ever get a chance, watch the movie V, because it's scary like this. Will we be in a situation and scenario, brothers and sisters, where the villains write the rules and the villains find people to enforce the rules? If you ever read about slavery, really read about slavery, you understand that slavery was a very, very complex society right now. Probably more complex than this is right now, but a very complex society because on one thing, they try to promote a lifestyle, but the other thing is like the times and the people created a lifestyle. You hear stories about people, black people that bought their freedom. We don't talk about that enough. How did they buy their freedom? They had money. That's how they did it. Which means that it wasn't a bunch of black folk running around uneducated, no shoes on. These are business people. But we don't talk about that. You know, a trip to Memphis was interesting because I was helping them do some fundraising. Man, I hope I didn't insult anybody, but you can always tell the quality of a neighborhood, uh, the financial situation of a neighborhood, and the healthcare situation of a neighborhood. If you see more than 6 check cashing places and more than 3 dialysis center, that's a poor neighborhood. It's not set up to sustain. So let me throw this out because I know we're going to go to a commercial here, and I'm going to wrap up. We're not positioned to win. We're not positioned to win. We have not, like, the idea of taking the high ground to have visuals on everybody. But the thing we do have that hasn't been compromised, and possibly the thing that constantly keeps the black man and the black woman frustrating American white supremacy and American Zionism. Culture. You see, Zionism in and of itself, and American Zionism and white evangelical nationalism fail to promote culture. They can do it for themselves, but they've never had anybody that could sell it to other cultures. And what you find, and I'll take a break here. What you find more so is that these are subcultures that they send people in the hope of, if I cannot acclimate you to this culture, a detrimental culture, a inferior culture, then what I will do is I'll destroy what you have to the point that the only culture that's left is what I'm giving you. We'll be right back after this message talking about addressing American Zionism. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everybody. I'm Preacher Moss, Muslim comedian OG, with a huge announcement. Get ready, Chicagoland, because Halal Fest 2025 is coming back August the 2nd and the 3rd. We're going to be at Frontier Park in Naperville, Illinois. You don't want to miss it. Let me tell you a few things just to get you guys ready. First of all, tickets are on sale. Early bird tickets are on sale. That's one. Number two, this is, of course, being brought to you. I got to give them their flowers. This whole presentation festival is being brought to you by, again, the Illinois Muslim Chamber of Commerce. So we're going to give them some love, too. And listen, we got live performances, cultural performances. You got live entertainment, live stand-up. That'd be me. And as well, we got food. We have connection. We got community. We just need you. Listen, don't walk, run to your computer, go to your phone, find the nearest QR code, and get your tickets, brothers and sisters. Oh, by the way, if you get a ticket, your name is automatically going to be entered into a raffle, and there's going to be big prizes. I don't know what they're giving away, but big prizes, big laughs, big community, big Halal Fest. Don't miss it. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Why are you standing there? Go get your tickets. I got to do everything. Also, want to give a shout out to Marlon Hill. I will be appearing at Marlon Hill's Club, 233 East Pittsburgh in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, this Saturday, July the 26th. Man, I'm looking so forward to get back to Milwaukee. Shout out to JT. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Want to make sure I'm firing you out. Sister Janice Tuff out of Seattle. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We got some people in Instagram land. We got Brother Bilal, who met me he saw me in Memphis. Big Brother Bilal, but he wasn't hanging out with Sister Sonia Dalton. She was with her family. Came to Juma. I gave the Juma Kuppah. In fact, if you look on here, there's a picture of us on YouTube after I gave the Kuppah. Let me give some shouts out. Ink Arabic, how you doing? Art Savvy, one of the most creative artist I have seen. This sister she does knitting, she does drawing. I mean, she's just immensely talented. We're gonna have to get her on the show one day because I really enjoy her stuff. Nasha, Nis Hot Jolly. Okay, Mama Et Moy, how you doing? Layla 411 joined. Zimak joined. My man Abastani, how you doing, beloved? Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. Kamikaze joined as well. 54 Vision jumped in too. So, let me wrap up because I know I'm a little bit over, but sometimes it happens. I also want to give a shout out. We had a great show last week with Dr. Mispa Qureshi. Thank you for coming on again. Let me wrap this thing up. I'll talk about this American Zionism, but here's what you need to know about American Zionism. It doesn't really work. It doesn't really work unless you give it value. You see what I did with American Zionism? I made a word up. I took two things and put them together. And this is what happens to us, that we put one and two things together and give it value when they really don't have value. That we give it importance when we don't really have importance. My suggestion is that we, like I did here, start coming up with our own terms. Throw them out and find out what sticks. Because if we're to the marketplace, we're the first people to the marketplace talking about what we're going to do about Palestine, what we're going to do about anti-Semitism, what we're going to do about anti-immigrant behavior, anti-Islamic behavior, anti-Black behavior, anti-poverty behavior. If we are the ones that get to the marketplace first, these elements of Zionism can't claim any type of victimhood, can't claim any type of being oppressed. What they have to own is the fact that you don't have creative agency in these things. And putting good ideas in those things pushes this whole idea out. It means that what you have to stand on, you have to stand on. That people are looking at you and checking out your logic. You're not checking out our logic. So that's the end of the show today. I appreciate you. Thank you guys so much. Next week, I don't know what I'm doing, but next week, I hope you're there. I appreciate everybody. Listen, keep hope alive. I know this is Jesse Jackson. Keep hope alive and continue to fight. Preacher Mars, that's the end of our show today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Continue to fight.